Na Yamunatiravanachari 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 Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Bradajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki. Wow, so many garlands, huh? Okay. Kann man die essen auch? Das war sarkastisch. Okay. Ich werde keine blöde Fragen stellen. Ich weiß ganz genau, wer Englisch kann oder Deutsch kann. No, Mataji speaks English, you speak English, and I speak English. In one sense, speak English better than German. Ja. Würdest du lieber ins Deutsche oder Englische übersetzen? Achso, du hast dir... Aha, okay. Und Param? Purusha? Prabhu? Okay. Ja, also, falls er bleiben will, möchte. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are... Achso, ich habe das Deutsche hier. Danke. So schnell geht das. Okay, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse number 12. Danke dir. Okay. Lobha pravritir arambha. Lobha pravritir arambha. Karmanam ashamaspriha. Karmanam asamaspриha. Rajasi itani jayante. Rajasi itani jayante. Vivriddhi bharatar shabha. Vivriddhi bharatar shabha. Lobha pravritir arambha. Karmanam ashamaspriha. Rajasi itani jayante. Vivriddhi bharatar shabha. Please chant. Lobha pravritir arambha. Karmanam ashamaspriha. Rajasi itani jayante. Arambha. Karmanam asaram spriha. Rajasetani jayante. Nivriddhi bharatar shabha. Lobha pravritir arambha. Karmanam ashamaspriha. Rajasitani jayante. Vivriddhi bharatar shabha. Mataji? Lobha pravritir arambha. Karmanam ashamaspriha. Rajasi itani jayante. Vivriddhi bharatar shabha. Lobha, greed. Pravriti, activity. Arambha, endeavor. Karmanam, inactivities. Ashama, uncontrollable. Spriha, desire. Rajasi, of the mode of passion. Itani, all these. Jayante, develop. Vivridhi, when there is an when there is an excess. Much different, yeah? Bharatar Shabha, O chief of the descendants of Bharata. Translation and purport by Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. Purport. One in the mode of passion is never satisfied with the position he has already acquired. He hankers to increase his position. If he wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as if he would be able to reside in that house eternally. And he develops a great hankering for sense gratification. There is no end to sense gratification. He always wants to remain with his family and in his house and continue the process of sense gratification. There is no cessation of this. All these symptoms should be understood as characteristic of the mode of passion. Om Jnana Tirmandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shakshurumilitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyadi Shatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time the verse. Where is it? Lobha pravritir arambha karmanam ashamas priha rajasi itani jayante vivridhi bharatar shabha. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. Hare Krishna. Good evening, everybody. We're talking about the mode of passion. And I was thinking, I am the right person to talk about the mode of passion because I have a lot of experience in it, but unfortunately, no realizations. So, what can I say about the mode of passion? So, let's talk about the definition of the mode of passion here. And the definition here is given as the symptoms. So, when one notices these symptoms, which is great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering, one knows that, okay, I'm in the mode of passion. So the problem is sometimes we do not know that we are in the mode of passion. Although we may have these symptoms. And although now we know these symptoms, tomorrow we will probably be in the mode of passion and still miss it. Or not even know that we are there. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport that he hankers to increase, is never, one who is in the mode of passion is never satisfied with the position he has already achieved. So this is the main word for the mode of passion, never satisfied. It can be summarized in one word, the mode of passion, which is more. More, give me more, give me more. You know, maybe you heard this story, like once one rich man was about on the death bed, and very rich man, and one person asked him, if you can summarize your philosophy in one word, what would it be? And he said, more. More. Radhanath Maharaj says a very, very deep and short and interesting saying or quote. He says, it's quote unquote, okay, one more thing and I will be happy. Quote ends. And this is Maya. If you think about it, just one more thing, just give me 10,000 euro, just 100,000 euro, and I will be happy. I promise you, Krishna. Just give me this amount of money, or this house, or this car, or this beautiful partner, beautiful husband, beautiful wife, and I will be happy. And then, when the $100,000 or euros come, then we want $1 million, and it goes like this. The mode of passion, the desire has no cessation, no saturation. No. Sättigung. There's never satisfaction in the mode of passion, and it's never enough. And one keeps striving and striving and wanting more and more. And this is also expressed in very symptoms that we cannot actually recognize or understand. And even devotional service can be, according to Kapila Dev, applied in the three modes of material nature. According in the mode of darkness, or what you call ignorance, in the mode of passion, and in the mode of goodness. So, not to get out of the point, we're stuck in the mode of goodness. So, devotional service in the mode of goodness is saying that one who is worshipping the deity in the temple as a separatist. Separatist, right? Yeah, like one who separates, or a separatist. Yeah, yeah, good. Sagt man auch auf Deutsch. Wow. So one who's like meaning that one who is thinking that one who is separating, technically the meaning is one who is separating the living entity from Krishna. And this is also we find in our mentality. Because the modes of nature are, the modes of nature are what constitutes this whole world. Like we often said, a TV screen is red, green, blue. Is it? And and the whole material world is made also of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we smell is just a mix of these three moods. Our bodily constitution, our body is a mix of these three moods. And this does not mean that you should balance these three moods. This is not Kapha, Pitta, Vata. Don't balance them. You just need to really detach from the lower moods. It is said that when we invest in one guna, or mode of material nature, is like a bank balance. Wherever you invest, wherever you develop your attachment there. So when we invest in mode of passion, then you will develop attachment to passion. And when you invest in goodness, you develop attachment to goodness. So the problem in the modern society, which also you will hear soon, that we are actually, not we, hopefully not the devotees, we are just in this wave of going from the mood of passion to the mood of ignorance. So the mode of passion in itself, it brings instant joy and happiness, so-called happiness. But then afterwards it brings misery and eventually brings burnout, which we will talk about in a second. And then one needs to come down to the mode of ignorance because you've been for some time in passion that it's so much exhausting you. Then you need to come down to ignorance to recharge. So you just go, eat and sleep. And you sleep for a long time. And then you come back, wake up, and then that's the flow. Because you cannot go to sattva gun from tamas. You cannot go to goodness from ignorance. One needs to go through passion. So if you think you are in tamas, you just, slept 12 hours or ate cake and slept 2 hours after lunch. It is actually the only way to get to sattva gun, to get to goodness, is to go through to rajagun. And I'm not going to give you tips how to get to Rajagun, although I can give you many tips. But we can notice that this fire inside us is present in everybody in different ratios. So one may notice that somebody may has this passion more than the other. One can notice that somebody is just, he's not disturbed. He just sits 2 hours and chants his rounds. The other devotee sees like he needs to move. He needs to walk around Tulasi 108 times each mantra or something, because he needs to get this passion out. And I'm not criticizing now anybody who walks around Tulasi or who walks during his japa, because technically speaking, if you don't this passion out, you'll get crazy. So this fire somehow needs to be dovetailed or integrated in some kind of activity. And that's why we need to be active throughout the day by investing this fire. But let's get now more relevant to our lives, our temple devotees. The only problem is that we sometimes are really inspired to do seva, or we are in this mode of, some mode of passion is there. Of course, always there's some mode of other mode is there. It's never pure goodness. Pure goodness means you are already on the spiritual platform, because in the material world there is no pure goodness. So how do we not fall into that trap of performing all of our activities in the mode of passion? This is the question. Anybody would like to give suggestions? How do we prevention methods against passion, rajagun? There's a microphone next to you, so you can start if you like. How prevention activities, or how do we prevent ourselves from falling into the mode of passion? How do we stay in sattva gun, in mode of goodness, and do not fall in this passion, Leidenschaft? Anybody? Okay. Maybe you know this. This amazing summary study, I don't know if it should be called a summary study, the Gita 3, from Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj. The old name is still here, and he was so kind that he gave me this book and the book Bhagavata as a present when he was here in Samacharam. So you find each chapter being summarized in 2 pages, and then afterwards there's a section about reflections where you can write, where there's some questions are being asked. It's like an exercise. And now we will get to that exercise just to make it a little bit more interactive. But the title of chapter 14 is How to Avoid Burnout. And he's saying that burnout is very common. It's more like, burnout is actually mental. It's barely happening on the physical platform. And to avoid burnout, he's giving 3 solutions. He's not giving him like out of his own mind. He's referring that in the scripture we have 3 ways to avoid burnout. The first one is do the right things, meaning follow your dharma. So what does that mean? Do the right thing and follow your dharma. How is this related not to burnout? Can anybody say something? Yeah, Brian?
I imagine that when you are doing your prescribed duties,
What does prescribed duties mean? Like my prescribed duty after this lecture is to wash pots. So this is my prescribed duty?
So you're referring to dharma as your own nature?
Yeah, do the right things, dash, follow your dharma. So what is my dharma? Because now I am an ashram devotee, right? And an ashram devotee means I'm here to do seva, right? So it is my duty to do service, to follow, to subordinate to the authorities and do what I'm told, right? So does that mean now if I go and wash the pots, there's no possibility that I burn out? Not with your pride, Bashar. Yes, Bjorn. Bjorn, we were talking a couple of days about Rajagun, right? I think I was preaching better than now. It's always like when I'm talking outside of the temple rooms, like I can preach good. When I sit here, it's just everything.
It was really nice. Yeah, that was really inspiring. But now, when you talk
Back to the topic, yeah.
About seva or in general?
In general, what does it mean to do the right thing?
To do the right things, because when you were telling me to do the right thing, then my duty is to chant here. That is the main duty for me.
Chant.
To chant and to chant to endeavor to chant good and attentively. And you gave me tips on how to do that. For example, what to do the evening before, or what not to do. And then to do the right thing then is to try that out and use that. And now that I see that it works, then the right thing is to do that, because if I would space out in the evening, that affects my chanting then the next day, and then I will be frustrated because it's not, there's no taste and there's nothing.
I think that doing the right things is a sort of balance. We have, of course, like authority, so we must follow the authorities. But there's always, so we have to be conscious that we have a nature also, and so some things are easier for us to do based on our nature, or some others are very much more complicated, and also we have this. We have the super soul also, and next to us, next to the soul, and we somehow, by following the intuition, we can always somehow say, okay, this feels right, this feels not as right. So it's a balance of all these things, and so to avoid to burn out, you must try to connect more to that inner intuition coming from the super soul.
Maybe somebody else. If not, then Björn.
I want to add to that then it's important to know about the physical and the subtle body's capacities. So whether it's, for me, hard work is better because I have the physical condition, or I'm more the studying type of man.
Yeah, so this is the point, I guess, here, by follow your own nature. So if you're like studying kind of man and you love to study, then you need to study. That means that if you're going after the lecture to wash the pots, then better that you go study afterwards. Or even better that you have done your studies today, which gives you kind of satisfaction, right? because you have done something which is according to your nature today. You have inspired yourself today. Of course, our main inspiration by waking up early, chanting some good rounds, and then more or less, if you really wake up early at 4 o'clock, and you chant until darshan, until Sringar darshan, until deity greeting, then more or less whatever happens during the day, it doesn't matter to you. And this is our, I don't want to now to make statements, hard statement, like writing the report. I'm can be so assertive in impolite ways sometimes. If we had good sadhana, if we had strong sadhana, then it's really the probability of being annoyed by somebody it's okay. It's less. If we had not such a big false ego, or if we control our big false ego by some good sadhana, by connecting to Krishna, then we don't care. If now somebody comes inside the temple room and punches me in the face and then goes out, then in one sense I should not be offended, right? Because this is the highest. Why should I be offended? And the problem is actually that we tend to blame the person. Okay, now this is an extreme example. Somebody comes in, just hurts you and goes out for no reason. But we are being hurt every once in a while, right? By somebody who's telling us something in the wrong tone. Who are you to tell me go wash the pots? You don't know me. You don't know me. So actually being offended, the only reason for becoming offended is dampa, arrogance, false ego. And doing the right thing, following your dharma, means that you may be doing something which is not according to your nature, but that doesn't mean that you do it for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean that you do it recklessly, aimlessly. You have no purpose, you just do it. If you know why I'm doing this, if you know that I'm going actually to wash the pots because this is devotional service, and if I do it with love, then it's so purifying, it's so ecstatic that afterwards I will go sleep with a smile on my face, which I don't think I will actually. So this is the first point. Second point is adopt the right lifestyle, which is Bjorn was talking about. So adopting the right lifestyle means that actually we are just not allowing any place for this passion to come in. It means that we have the proper cleanliness, we have the proper meditation, we have the proper, what else? So, Keshav Maharaj is giving tips here. Sleep, diet, cleanliness, and meditation. So sleep means you go to sleep early, you wake up early. You don't care if it's, there's a party going on here, or if there's an amazing cake in the temple from Krishna Balaram, Abhishek, or whatever. If you are going to risk it and take a cake from Krishna Balaram, you still need to, before that think, okay, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow. I'm not now trying to preach to anybody personally, Don't take it personal, please. Just giving a realistic example here. That this steadiness is actually most important. This regulation, the proper food. And when we are actually conscious, then there is no space for Raja Gun to come in. Because Sattva Gun in itself means concentrated, means that your meditation is clear. Sattva Gun means that you are aware, you are conscious about your action. That you go, okay, now I go to take prasad. I take prasad and honor prasad. I be eaten by prasad. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, we don't eat prasad, we are being eaten by prasad because we are worshipping prasad. And you do it so consciously, not so hectically and fast that you only allow any speck of Rajagun to come inside. And this is Sattva Gun. Sattva Gun means intention. You set an intention before doing each activity. You know why you're doing what you're doing. But I think last lecture we talked enough about this topic to know what you are doing. And not just do it because somebody told you to do it, then I do it. Everybody else is doing it, then I just do it. This is not really not really recommended. And the last point is embody the right motivation - act with prema. So act with prema means that whatever you do, you're going to do it with love. Not because it's my nature, not my nature. I'm just going to do it with love. I'm going to do it because I'm allowed to do it for Krishna. The third point is embody the right motivation. Act with prema. Which is motivation also coming back to the point. It is sattva gun to put a motivation. It's said also religion, which is when there is no motivation in devotional service, then is in passion or in tamas. Motivation, putting intention while doing activities, is devotional service in the mode of goodness. So yeah, I think I'll end after one point. He's giving also the 4 points, 4 a day, he's calling it. And like we said, sleep, diet, cleanliness, and meditation. And he's saying one nice point in cleanliness. You can relate it as you like, but in cleanliness, he's giving a point in one's relationships. Like we know cleanliness in physical habits, bodily, clothes, daily routine. This is clear. What does cleanliness in that sense mean? But cleanliness to one's relationships. Does anybody know what cleanliness in one relationship mean? Anyway, it's always the one who are here active. Aha, Kishori, ja, bitte. Vielleicht könntest du gleich das Mikrofon an Rosemary geben. Oder nicht? Ist okay. Passt schon. Ich kann schon.
Ehrlichkeit, Vertrauen und Stetigkeit.
Aber in Beziehung mit anderen.
In Beziehung mit anderen.
In Beziehung, ja. Stetigkeit. So, Steadiness.
Ja, aber in erster Linie Vertrauen, Hingabe und Ehrlichkeit. Und dem anderen wohlgesonnen sein.
So, well-wishing, honesty, devotion. Okay.
Ihm das geben, was er benötigt, was
to give them what they need. Okay. Rosemary, Mataji?
So, bist du fertig?
Ja.
Also, ja, Liebe.
Liebe. Okay. Aber wie ist Liebe verbunden mit Sauberkeit? Wie ist Liebe verbunden mit Reinheit?
Na,
how is love connected to clean?
I answered to the question, how do you act in relationship?
No. The sub-point from cleanliness is 4 points. Cleanliness in one's environment, house, office, car, etc. Second point is in one's relationship. So what does cleanliness in one's relationship mean? I have the answers here. I don't want to act smart because I wouldn't have said something like here. It's quite interesting. Ja, es gibt keine falsche Antwort. Ich suche nur eine bestimmte Antwort. Es gibt keine falsche Antwort. Okay, Brian, go. Brian and then Björn. But let's just do it quickly, yeah? Like everybody, maybe 1 minute maximum, and then I will summarize and finish because I need to do
yeah, there's an intimate exchange. Like
intimate exchange.
Yeah, like said in, I think it's verse 4 in Nectar of Instruction. Serving the other devotees and giving prasadam, accepting prasadam, and the other ones. So I wanted to say compassion and empathy as well, especially empathy if you serve somebody.
You are also transcendental, really. Your answer that way transcendental. Okay. No, seriously, I'm not being sarcastic here. Okay.
Das mit übersetzen und selber mitdenken ist schwierig.
Ja, ist klar.
Cleanliness in relationship means also to be free from envy and
Ja.
was gibt also?
Du hast eins recht auf jeden Fall. Ja, you got one point correctly.
Also
Envy.
ich habe gesagt, dass Reinheit in Beziehungen
Okay,
bedeutet.
noch was?
Also, warte, ich muss noch nachdenken. Also free of envy and free of concurrence.
Competition.
Competitions.
Wow, very. Okay, Damayanti, you want to say something? Dean?
To respect and honor the other devotees.
Yes, thank you. Elias?
Can I say it in German?
Yes.
Kein Neid zu haben.
Kein
Also
Nein.
nicht-
Ja,
nicht neidisch sein
hat
auf
sie
andere.
gerade gesagt. No envy, richtig, ja.
Okay.
Sehr gut. Brian, you can just say it. Jai Shri Prabhu Lakshmi Simade Bhagavan. Okay? You can say it, or here comes the mic. Here comes the mic.
I had just in mind integrity.
Integrity. What does integrity mean?
In general, when you have commitments with others, or you have some certain values and you act accordingly, or like if you have some other dealings with others, then you always follow. You're punctual. So I would say this is some aspects, some symptoms of integrity. I would say.
Nice.
No duplicity also.
No duplicity, yes. Elias?
Bedingungslosigkeit.
Bedinglosigkeit. Bedinglosigkeit habe ich.
Ja.
Bedingungslosigkeit.
Bedingungslosigkeit.
Unmotivated. No motivation. Bedingungslos. Yeah, no motivation. Haituki aprahiti hatam. Yeah, okay. So all what you said is correct. And cleanliness in one's relationship, Keshav Maharaj is writing, avoiding gossip, envy, criticism, being positive and empowering. So, avoiding gossip. You know, Devaki Mataji today sent me, you know Devaki Mataji? No? Devaki Mataji? She goes to Ukraine always. Yeah. Okay, vielleicht jetzt nur Kishori und Damayanti kennen. Sorry, only Kishori and Damayanti, no Devaki Mataji. From YouTube? Yeah, she's famous. So Devaki Mataji sent today an email, newsletter. She shares her memories once in a while with those who are interested and who knows her. And she knows them, of course. So she's saying she gave a seminar about gossip which will destroy our movement. I don't know if you heard this, it's also saying from Prabhupada. There's actually a very nice story, Alila, with Prabhupada. Two devotees were like, sitting in one room and gossiping. And Prabhupada opened the door furiously. He came inside the room and he opened and said, "What are you doing?" And they looked at him like this, they were afraid. And he looked at him, "Yes, gossiping, huh? Gossip, it will destroy our movement." Yeah. Guru Maharaj says, if one thing you never do, if you have to follow one rule, never do, is talk bad about others. This is like, the golden rule. Whatever happens, whatever it is, like, whatever 1,000 times, whatever, really, really, whatever happens, you don't talk bad about others. And this is really like the most stinky, smelling, ugly thing we can ever do, because back to the point, what are we criticizing actually? What are we gossiping about? Better said, what is this bad quality in the person we see? Why don't we like it? Sorry, I'm gonna finish. The thing we're seeing is nothing but the modes of nature actually. It's nothing but the mode of nature. Because the soul is pure. If we were seeing the soul, we wouldn't see impurity. But because we are seeing the conditioning, then we're seeing impurity. Which is, in one sense, our impurity. But But we are constantly seeing mistakes, and this is also the mode of passion. Criticism, envy, avoiding gossip. So criticism, what is criticism also? Like, I'm a brahmachari, I think grihastas are just lame. They don't know how to chant Hare Krishna. And guess what happens later? I get married. And then the other way around, those brahmacharis, they are not sincere even like I was. It's just stupid. It's just impurity, nothing more. We just see impurities due to our impurity. We're not seeing the soul. We're just seeing the conditioning. Okay, he's in Rajagun, he is in Tamagun, or he is in Sattvagun, and proud, whatever. We just Hare Krishna. So like this criticism or this gossip that one can do is very energetically bad. It is said when you hear gossip, you have two options. You either close your ears, and if you cannot close your ears for some reason, you leave the room. When a Vaishnava is being criticized, there are two options. You either close your ears or you either leave the room. And if you're not sure if he's a Vaishnava or not, you just think that he is a Vaishnava. If you're not sure, like Sanatana Goswami says, if you're not sure if one is an Uttamadhikari or Madhamadhikari or Kanishta Adhikari, you just think he's an Uttamadhikari. Because you cannot go wrong. It's never bad to respect somebody. So, and if that doesn't work, if you cannot close your ears or leave the room, anybody knows what's the third solution? You kill yourself. Okay, but we are live, we're not going to preach like this now. Please don't kill yourself. Better maybe punch the person in his face when he's criticizing than to kill yourself. No, Radhanath Maharaj is saying, when somebody is criticizing other, and he talks to you and starts criticizing somebody or gossiping about him or talking bad, he didn't do his service nicely, or he didn't wash the pots nicely, or he didn't do his service nicely, or he's spaced out, or she's spaced out, or he's lazy, whatever it is. Sometimes it's not so honest that we're saying he is lazy. We're saying it very in a polite way, sophisticated, indirectly, that, like this devotee, he was supposed to do his service today, but he was laying in his bed and sleeping, and and you're saying it in a sarcastic way. You're not saying he's lazy, you're very polite, externally speaking, but one can hear the feeling, right? And maybe this devotee is just lying in bed and sick or something. But this is the main reason that we don't have this thoughtfulness, mitdenken, this thoughtfulness, this compassion. Actually, we don't have it. We're just waiting for somebody to commit a mistake so that we're waiting to blame somebody actually for our misery. This is also another point. We are in our nature, we can be dissatisfied, and we look to, okay, my dear finger, where do I point this frustration? Who's the reason? There's no milk. Why there's no milk? Okay, Dean, you didn't bring the milk today. No, I brought the milk. Okay, Chinmoy, you didn't offer enough milk today. No, I offered enough milk. There was 3 liters of milk. Okay, then Gita Priya, you drink all the milk. You will always find somebody to criticize. You always find somebody to blame for our dissatisfaction. But the only reason for it's said in the Bhagavad, the only reason for our suffering is the mind. Nobody else, nobody else, nobody else. There's no any other reason for our suffering, our misery, except our mind. Even that person who will come inside the temple room and punch me in the face, even if he does that, then I cannot blame him. You see how transcendental is this, theoretically speaking. Now I'm preaching on the theory. If somebody comes inside and really does that to that extent, you just think, it's my karma. Thank you, purifying me. Thank you, you remind me of Krishna. Thank you for punishing me in the face, because, otherwise, I don't know, maybe this is just like Krishna is trying to water down my karma. Otherwise, somebody will come inside and, otherwise, I'll go on the street and, who knows, maybe 10 people will punch you in the face. which almost happened to me. Not almost, it did happen. But that's story for another day. Yeah, it happened actually. I was once in the street standing with my friend. We were waiting for a cab, for a taxi. We were in high school. And we were wearing these high school jackets, you know. In high school, you have these high school jackets. Last year, you get fancy leather jacket. And you can put your own quotation backwards. And each school has their own cool jacket. And some envious people came to us, which are also spirit souls, part of Krishna. And came to us and said, hey, Tawjihi, like Tawjihi is abitur, like high school. They call it Tawjihi. It's also in English they say. He said, hey, Tawjihi, like high school. We're like, yeah, yeah, high school. And they were like 7 or something. And that was it, you know. No discussion happened there. No like or something. Nothing. It's just immediately the battle began. And yeah, of course we tried, you know, to fight, but we ended up two kids or 2 young people on the ground being kicked in the face by some people. But you know, now I think about it and laughing. But in one sense, you know, it's only my mind. Of course, those people are not the reason of my suffering. Of course, this is an extreme example, but definitely my mind would be the reason for my suffering afterwards. 1 minute afterwards, or 1 year afterwards, or 10 years afterwards, because this was really 10 years ago exactly. Yeah. 11. I would have been, if my mind were in control, I would be now suffering, you know. I would be saying this story and would like, those, you know, they came to us. So like this, please, let's not criticize, let's not be envious, let's keep this cleanliness in our relationship. And we see how amazing it is when there is this cleanliness, like it is called here, in a relationship. We're not envious of each other. We don't care about our mistakes, because who is perfect anyway, you know. We come to the temple sometimes we're thinking, okay, finally I've arrived to the spiritual world, everybody's a holy person, and of course I'm the first holy person here, and okay, everybody is also pure, but then after some time we realize, okay, maybe they're not so pure like I thought. Maybe I'm the only pure one here. And then we start just seeing mistakes and criticizing. And of course, this is my experience, because I don't see any of you actually having this uncleanliness. Yeah. You're all amazing devotees. Thank you for allowing me to be in your association, and thank you for hearing my childish words for almost 1 hour now. Hare Krishna. Okay, ganz schnell, mach mal.
Yep, I have a serious question actually.
Okay. So it's 8 o'clock. Whoever wants to leave, please feel free. Yeah.
So this question is that because earlier we were speaking about the modes of nature, Rajagun, and we want to be in Sattvagun, and then you said that we should do the right thing and adopt the right lifestyle. But then, as you said, we are not pure devotees, so devotees are sometimes in mode of passion or maybe ignorance as well. It can be, and then I have to that's the question actually. How do I distinguish without criticizing? Because if I associate then with them, I acquire this. I will be influenced by that. It's very heikel.
Well, first of all, you don't distinguish between the devotees. You distinguish between your states of mind, your own self. You think you're in Sattvagun, that's good. If you see that by associating by somebody and becoming also in Rajagun, you just take the observer position. And first of all, you should not care if somebody is in Sattvagun or in Rajagun or not. Because it is said, an intelligent person, he takes gold out of a pile of stool, right? Like a swan. A hamsa, a paramahamsa is like a swan. What's paramahamsa? What's hamsa? Hamsa is swan. Paramahamsa. was an Uttamadhikari, is a para swan, it's a super swan, an exalted swan. So we take the gold out of each person, because each person has gold or is gold, right? Quality of the gold he has. So you just, if you see that there's some passion in the person in front of you and you don't want to become impassioned, better you just observe it. It's, yeah, it happens like sometimes it's Saturday, we're doing some kitchen seva and 4 hours, kitchen seva after running from 4 o'clock, full program, then go to breakfast and then cook immediately to the kitchen, and then I come out of the kitchen and I just want to eat, and I've noticed that I'm eating so quickly that I'm definitely in Rajagun.
This is not what I mean, but more when there's like at the prasadam table some talking or
Well, why are you at the prasad table anyway?
to take prasadam.
Yeah, so why do you care if somebody next to you is in Rajagun or in Tamagun?
That's my question, how to deal with it, because I want to associate with the devotees.
But what's the symptom that they are in Rajagun? Somebody who you're sitting with, what's the symptom that he's in Rajagun? His topic, his behavior, because he's either talking something nice, something pleasant about Krishna, he's talking some devotional experience, something scientific which can be related to Krishna. It doesn't have to be Krishna Leela, but it has to be something related to Krishna. And if you say it's something not related to Krishna, then you just change the topic. And then it doesn't matter if he's in Rajagun or you're Sattvagun or whatever, you're talking about Krishna. And this hectic mood, it can be changed in a natural way that it's now transcendental. So otherwise, if you see that, just 2 devotees are, talking loud and laughing, and it's just impossible to affect, because who are we to, not to intervene, but to have a big, some devotees have this Shakti, that their presence, it's put you in Sattvagun. Like I remember once I was serving Maharaj, and I brought him I was cooking, and I bring the plate, and I go like 2 minutes late. Oh my God, And I entered into the room. Sorry, just 1 second. And I entered into the room, and I was so in a hurry. It was nice, you're doing seva, cooking, putting the plate, covering it, and you just want to please that devotee. And then at the moment I come inside that room, I realize that I'm in Rajagun. Like, the moment I'm like, Hare Krishna Maharaj, just by observing my tune, by saying Hare Krishna Maharaj, I realize I'm completely in Rajagun right now. Because just seeing him, observing him, the way he reacted, the way he said Hare Krishna, I realized, okay. I took a breath, and I was completely affected by his mood. But I am not like him, that when I enter into a prasad table, which is the mood is high like this, like you mentioned, we're not going to say now passion and so on. This maybe can be offensive. So if you say that the mood is like this and you want to calm it down, I sit there usually and I chant prasad prayers attentively and take prasad, because I'm there to honor prasad. And of course, while honoring prasad, it would be amazing to have some sadhu sangha. That's where, otherwise I would take prasad in my room, which I almost never do, unless there's something special happening. And then, okay, but if otherwise you just absorb yourself in taking prasad, because this in itself is sufficient to be in transcendence. You meditate on each taste, of the 6 tastes. And this is enough to bring you in Sattvagun. Even if next to you there's Gita Priya jumping on the table and 2 devotees screaming and laughing so loud, you don't care.
So now for me the more and more the points comes out that why I'm insecure about that is that I don't want to reject the devotees, because I think they are impassioned, and this is affecting me in lowering my consciousness. I don't want to think that the devotees are lowering my consciousness. So that's
if I see devotees in Rajagun, then I should be grateful, because they will not lower my consciousness. They will elevate me from my tamas to rajas. I cannot answer you this. You need to. It's very much depending on the time and the place and the circumstance, and if you are intelligent enough to see it, then you should be intelligent enough to know how to react to it. But like I told you, it's about observing mainly. This is what the rishi, a seer, right? The one who sees is called a seer. A sage is a seer, and the one who is actually observing. So when we observe our mind, this is already like very high level. When we observe ourselves, when we reflect, this is already high level. So when you come in and you're not judging, you should never judge as thinking, oh, these devotees are in Rajagun. But you should observe. You see, okay, I have the feeling here that the mood is too high. And I think we should not be so high at the prasad table, like one laughing in 108 decibels or something. It's not proper. But can you do something about? If you can do something about it without annoying anybody and hiring the vibration of this sangha, then it's good. If you cannot hire the vibration of this sangha, then you just absorb yourself in what you're doing. If you think that it's too much because somebody is just too loud, then you just leave the room. What else do you want to do?
My problem with that is that then I think, who am I to judge that this is...
Yeah, but it's better to do something, to say something than keep judging the person, right?
What?
It's better to say something, to do something, than to judge the person. Because if you keep judging the person in your mind, it's just a matter of time because this comes out of word and you offend somebody, or you go back and you do some gossip about him or her. So, but if you think you can do something, then just do it. And you can do it in an intelligent way that you don't actually tell the person, hey, Prabhu, you're in Rajagun. Come on, let's talk about Krishna and in Sattvagun. You cannot do this. But you can you can affect it. If you are really in Sattvagun and intelligent enough, and you see that somebody next to you he's just in the lower modes of nature, then you should be able to affect it. And sometimes you cannot affect it. You cannot change. You cannot elevate it, because who are we anyway to elevate people? I mean, we are never purely in Sattvagun. This you need to remember. So, okay, everybody satisfied? It is too late, but... But I don't mind, but I just don't want to frustrate the devotees, Otherwise, the mood of rajas, of the mood of passion will rise more and more. Especially if somebody is hungry here,
You said one should not criticize if somebody did not do his seva.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh my God.
sevas, they cling together. So if one does not do the seva and the other one is depending on the fulfillment of the seva,
Yeah.
because he's continue working or seva, so how should we do? Because you said how not to get burnout, but if I do leftover sevas, I will have burnout.
Yeah. If you do it in... It is frustrating to, the word ergonomic. Yeah? Ergonomical? The word ergonomic is an environment which is stress-free. And when we are living in an environment which is not stress-free, then we burn out. I mean, what is burnout? It's accumulated stress, right? So when we are... When we are in an environment, I don't care if you're in Sattvagun or whatever, if the environment is stressful, it's just a matter of time before you also become stressed. So maybe the one seva is not being fulfilled. You come at 9:05, you finished a nice Bhagavatam lecture, and you're hungry, you want to take some warm khichdi, and you go there, khichdi is still in the kitchen. Nobody transferred, nobody did anything, and your nature is you go transfer and start serving prasad.
Yes, this is okay.
Mm.
But for example,
But if you do it 10 days, let me get to the point, but if you do it 10 days after another, if you are tolerant enough to do it 10 days after another, I'm not. I do it one day, the next day I'm, already sitting with the temple president and or the temple commander and telling him, hey, Prabhu, this devotee is not doing his seva, so you either do something or I will, I don't know.
Okay, so this would be all right to talk to the...
It's not all right. I'm just trying to get to the point that the person should do his service, definitely.
Yes.
If he doesn't do it once, you should not care,
No,
because
if
he
it's
might have his
regularly.
condition.
I'm
If he doesn't do it
ready.
twice, then you talk to the temple commander and you tell him, Harbo Prabhu, this person didn't do his seva twice. Are you aware of this? And he's like, whatever he answers. And then if you see that this person is not doing it third time, then you need to make it serious. And you talk to the temple commander, temple president, whatever, telling him, look, like, whatever, one seva was not done in time, and I don't feel like doing garlands at 5 o'clock in the morning, or I don't feel like serving prasad every time. Things like this, they can happen, and they will always happen. But why do they happen anyway? We have to see Krishna also everywhere. Like, Krishna is the cause of all causes, and this is already like difficult to believe that this person didn't do his seva, but at the moment my reaction is actually what Krishna wants to see. Because Krishna doesn't want to see our righteousness. This you will hear. You heard it already? Yeah, Krishna is like one devotee, brahmachari. In the manner he was not criticizing, forgive me. He was complaining to Mariti Mataji, I forgot her name, Prabhupada disciple. And he went to her and is like, he is completely correct. He is completely righteous. He has all reason to complain and to be stressed. And he goes to this Mataji, and he tells her, he did this, and he offended me, and I didn't do anything. You can imagine the worst case scenario. And you know what she told him? Like, Krishna does not need your righteousness, because actually this sense is like me and you are more annoyed of such situations, because we are, like, we want everything correctly to happen. We want everything to be justice. Should be said, oh, you're coming from a judge court background, so you love this also. Justice shall be served. But Krishna doesn't want this, actually. Krishna doesn't want this righteousness. Krishna doesn't want us to see us powerful readers correcting everybody and saying, you should do this and you should do this. Okay, prasad is being served on time, everybody is happy. Krishna wants to see only one thing.
I don't mean this so strictly as you might have understood.
Sorry, I'm just exaggerating. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you are like this.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe like this, but I know I'm aware of it, but I try to control it anyway. But my point is that if I do leftover services,
Then you burn out.
then I burn out and I cannot do it. So always.
Then don't do it.
Yeah, but then I
You
cannot
know,
continue.
before a couple of days, okay, maybe we should turn off the live stream. Before a couple of days, you know what I did? I came inside and I needed to go at 2:30 with Jagdish Prabhu. Okay, police? No police, okay, good. Oh. And so long story short, I needed to take prasad. I needed to take prasad very quickly because Sundari Kelly and her family were moving, and Jagadish was asking me, we need at 2:30 and we need to be there. And I'm like, I come at 2 o'clock and I want to take prasad quickly. So I take prasad and drive to Vadkirchen. And guess what happens? There's no prasad. There's nobody serving prasad. There is Olisa alone standing there and she wants to serve prasad. And I'm like, okay, I have now two options. Either I start serving prasad, which would be stupid because I will miss my appointment, or either I become angry and will not do anything, will not bring any results, or either I just take the spoon from Elisa, put myself some prasad, go eat and leave quickly. Because that was the only solution back then. But then again, it's about my reaction. I'm going to leave this to make me angry, or am I going to accept this and then bring it into the community's awareness? Because we are a community. We are supposed to be a loving community, which is free from stress, which is impossible to be free from stress, which we're supposed to be loving to each other. But we see that sometimes things happen that actually challenge our love for each other. So if I know your name is on the seva plan that you should serve prasad, Rosemary, your name is here, you're not serving prasad, so it's difficult for me to be respectful or loving, right? But this is our challenge. Everything is happening because Krishna wanted to happen and he wants to test us. And if Krishna doesn't want this to happen, it will not happen. It's very simple. If Krishna doesn't want this devotee not to do his seva, then it wouldn't be done. Or wait, what? You know what I mean. So, and like back to the point, because I didn't complete my sentence, Krishna doesn't want our righteousness. Krishna wants our humility. This is what the Mataji told this brahmachari. Krishna, he does not care about righteousness. He wants to see your humility. He wants to see how much love you were able to hold for that devotee, and still you can still tell him, hey, you need to do your seva. Hey, you didn't do your seva. Here, this is annoying me. This is annoying this devotee. This is affecting us. This is affecting the atmosphere. Because this is bringing stress, but still, deep down, you know that you're not seeing you're not seeing him as a conditioned soul who's just committing mistakes, or in tamagun, or in rajagun, or in sattvagun even. You're just seeing a spirit soul, pure part of Krishna. And of course, we all commit mistakes. He committed mistake by not coming to serve prasada. You committed mistake by whatever, doing something, maybe not today, maybe last week, maybe last year, maybe before 10 years, maybe next year. We will always commit mistakes. All of us. It's inevitable. We will all keep committing mistakes. The only problem is when the other person commits mistakes, then we become furious. When we do mistakes, then it's like, okay, I'm okay because, it's me. I'm so cool, so it's okay if I commit some mistake. But if somebody criticizes me, then it's, then it's hell for him, because he just pointed out that I did mistakes, but he cannot do this. I can do this. So like this, sorry, it's a big discussion, it's a big topic, and we should end now because it's very late, and I need to wash pots. My God, I will burn out now. Yeah, or maybe I just don't do it and let you be frustrated, and tomorrow you go temple commander. Hare Krishna. Sorry for being so long. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being such amazing devotees, and thank you for tolerating me. I almost said criticizing me, and I'm like, wait. No. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Srimati Ram Dham ki jai.